For far too long, the world hasn't had the benefits of a 17-inch laptop. After all, they're really just big and bulky to carry around. But LG looks to solve that today with the LG Gram 17, one of the lightest 17-inch laptops you'll ever hold. So I'm going to give you my full review and tell you what I think. Stay tuned. For a few years now, LG has had a line of laptops called the Gram series. There's 13, 14, and 15-inch versions, and they're exceptionally light laptops that almost feel plastic, but technically they're a metal alloy. Now they're going to have a 17-inch version as well. And if you think about this trend, it's really interesting. Starting with the Dell XPS 13, we had 13-inch laptops that were in a 12-inch body, and then we had 14s and 13s and 15s and 14s. So why not put a 17 in a 15-inch chassis? And that's exactly what the Gram 17 is. So is it more than a blown-up 13-inch laptop? Not really, but it's still got some cool stuff. Let's give you a quick product tour and I'll show you what I mean. Looking at the outside of the Gram 17, and it's a really clean design. It just says Gram on the lid, which I think looks really, really nice. And this material is a combination of magnesium and nanocarbon, but it feels like and sounds like plastic. And in fact, if you picked it up, it definitely feels like plastic. But it is mil-spec tested, so it should be pretty durable, and that's what you get for a super light laptop. Speaking of super light, it weighs just 2.95 pounds or 1.3 kilograms, which is really absurd when you think about it, as many laptops in the 13-inch range don't weigh that little. Turn to the left-hand side. When it comes to ports, you get a barrel charger, which I've realized some of you in comments like barrel chargers as the option for the USB Type-C, so you do get one in the box. It's actually pretty nice and small. So if you like using those, well, you got that. You also have a USB Type-A 3.0, HDMI, and that is a USB Type-C, as I mentioned. That is Thunderbolt 3 too, which is really nice. And you have a small little LED there to let you know it's charging. Coming around to the right-hand side, you get a Kensington lock, 2 more USB 3.0 ports, headphone jack, and check that out, a micro SD slot. I would have preferred a full SD card slot, but hey, micro SD is not bad either. Looking at the bottom here, also very clean design. If you're noticing something missing, that would be the vents. There are no bottom vents on this, which is really excellent. LG is using the new design a lot of laptop manufacturers are using, which is they put the intakes in the hinge area itself, so it inhales air on one side and exhales on the other. Just a really nice design, keeps it off your lap. Speaking of, this material is very cool and it doesn't get hot at all. Now in an odd design choice, LG has speakers on the bottom. They are on the edge. This laptop is so wide that these speakers do hang off your legs, so they get plenty of clearance, but still I would prefer them on top. They are good speakers though. This is better than your average audio for a laptop, but still it's one of the areas where I think LG can improve. Take a look at the display. It's a beautiful 17-inch 16:10 aspect ratio, so that's a little bit weird. It sits in between a Surface 3:2 and a traditional 16:9 laptop, so it's going to be a little bit taller and more square. It's also exactly what an Apple Mac uses, so we don't see these much on Windows PCs, but it looks really, really good here. I'm glad LG used it. Resolution's fixed at 2560 by 1600 resolution. It is a non-touch display, so if you're hoping to have that, well, you don't. Not too bad on the wobble. I know it looks worse here on video. I used this on a train last night. It was actually pretty fine, but being such a massive display, you do get a little wobble, but it's a nice stiff hinge. I really don't have any issue with it. You do get a web camera on top, which is a decent web camera. It gets the job done. Coming to display accuracy, very good color reproduction here, and brightness is very good as well. I will point out though, this is a very glossy display, so if you work under office lights, well, you're going to definitely see that on such a massive screen. Still, it's really good for those of you who want to edit photos on the go. All right, looking at the keyboard deck, a lot of kind of weird decisions going on here. You do get a full numpad, which I know many of you enjoy, and you expect that at least on anything 15-inch or above. So, but as a side effect, the keyboard now is offset to the left a little bit, so a little bit strange. This did take a couple hours for me to get used to, but this is a very good keyboard. The keys are a little bit smaller than I would prefer, and I feel like they are wasting a little bit of space here, but still, it was really nice for the key travel. You also get backlit keys. A really good typing experience. I really don't have any issue with it. You do need to hold down the function key to adjust the brightness and volume, but it's not too bad. Looking over here at the power button, you do get a built-in fingerprint reader there for Windows Hello. So no facial recognition, but yes, you can use your fingerprint. It's actually a very good fingerprint scanner. I had no false reads and it worked every time. Looking at the trackpad here, pretty decent size. I feel like LG wasted some space here and they could have made this even larger. Still smooth glass, feels really, really nice to use. Precision drivers as well. So it's actually a really excellent trackpad. I have no complaints about it. All right, when it comes to specifications, nothing too weird here. Talking a Core i7 It's an 8565U. That's Whiskey Lake, so it's the 8th generation latest from Intel, but that is a 15-watt processor, so not a hexa-core or 45-watt, which you'd find like something in the Dell XPS 15. For graphics, you're talking Intel UHD 620, which again is kind of a weird spot here. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And for the SSD, well, they use a SATA drive here, and it's all right, but it gets 500 megabytes per second for read and write versus something preferable like an NVMe, which is around 3000. So this is definitely a slower drive. Now, it's way faster than a hard disk drive, but this is going to be a bottleneck on this device and something I wish that LG would fix. For RAM, you're going to get 16 gigabytes of RAM, and there's Bluetooth 5.0 on board here, which is really nice as well. So overall, the specifications are exactly what you would find in a 13-inch Ultrabook. This is just all blown up to a 17-inch one instead. All right, so let's talk about what I liked about this laptop and what I don't like. So overall, the performance is very good. It feels like a 13-inch Ultrabook, but because it uses Intel graphics versus discrete graphics from NVIDIA, it's kind of a weird decision. You would expect maybe at least the MX150, which is not a great chip, but it's better than Intel's built-in stuff. So I would have preferred to have that. Would have been even cooler to have like a GTX 1050 maybe in there, but overall, LG is trying to make this thing as light as possible and as battery efficient as possible, as well as keep that price down. And they actually do achieve that, but they could possibly improve this with maybe a pro version of this laptop, which I wouldn't mind seeing. Speaking of battery life, this thing has a massive 72 watt-hour one installed, and it's actually really impressive, especially when you consider that weight. So what does that get you? They're saying 19 hours, which of course is ridiculous, but in real world usage, you're going to easily get 10 to 12 hours out of this thing. And using the Gram 17 for daily work, it's just really astonishing. Sitting behind that 17-inch display, well, it's just really, really inviting, especially if you're gonna watch media like TV or movies, or you need to edit some photos. Now, where this laptop fails is the fact that the performance is not exceptional for its class, but still, it actually does very well for most people in the Ultrabook range. It's just a little bit deceiving because you expect to have more power, especially with that GPU. I also have a few complaints about the keyboard deck and the speakers. The speakers aren't terrible. They do clear your legs, which is nice, but come on, a laptop this size, why didn't they have the speakers on the top? That just seems like a gimme, especially something when you have that much space on that deck. They could have also made that keyboard a little bit bigger, in my opinion, as it feels a little cramped. It's not terrible, but again, they could have used that space, I think, a little bit more efficiently. But all this is sort of betrayed by the fact that the price is not too bad. So you're talking about $1,699, $1,700, which is actually a pretty good price for a 17-inch laptop with a Core i7 processor. Now, I think that's one of the goals here that LG was trying to achieve, which is make one of the lightest laptops in the world, as well as a 17-inch one, and keeping that price within check. So what I'd like to see from them, I'd like to see the Gram 17 Pro. Give me a touchscreen, maybe with pen and ink support, maybe even a tune one, which would be really kind of crazy. Improve those speakers. We should have at least quad speakers on that 17-inch laptop, I think. And throw in some better graphics and an improved SSD, you have a really killer laptop. But as is, the Gram 17, I have a hard time putting it down despite how light it is. It's just absolutely awesome to carry around. It's still large, so make sure you check your bag before you get one, as you may need a little bit of a larger bag to carry it, but it does fit in most backpacks with ease. In conclusion, I can definitely recommend the Gram 17. I think LG did a really good job here. Now don't forget, a lot of people don't need a 17-inch laptop, but part of that reason was because 17-inch laptops were just so bulky and inconvenient to carry around. Well, LG has basically solved that here with the Gram 17. That, I think, opens up the door for all sorts of possibilities. It's got a great build design. Performance is still very good. Could be better, but still not bad. And it's just a blast to use. So yeah, if you want a 17-inch laptop, definitely consider the Gram 17. All right, so there's a quick look at the LG Gram 17, which is now available. If you want more information about this laptop, hit the description below. We'll have a few links there. Otherwise, let me know what you want to see from LG in the future and whether or not you want more 17-inch laptops. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Second, is it megabytes or megabits? I think it's megabytes. Yeah, it's a capital. No, I think it's megabytes per second. Yeah.